Mistakes. We've all made them. But some mistakes are so wild, they turn into stories worth sharing forever. In today's video, you'll hear about slip-ups that are hilarious, embarrassing, and sometimes a total disaster. Let's jump right in.
So I, a 34-year-old mom, have a son who's 6 years old, and he's absolutely obsessed with video games. He got his Nintendo Switch almost 2 years ago, and he's been loving it ever since. At just 5 years old, he had already finished Mario Odyssey. Even I, who knows nothing about gaming, thought that was impressive. But he's still really young, so while he's great at playing the games, he's still learning how to take care of them. Sometimes he'll yank a cartridge out without ejecting it first, or he'll take it out correctly, but then just leave it somewhere random. And if you've ever seen a Switch game, you know those things are tiny. So this is where I really messed up. Every now and then, my husband and I do what we call a game audit. We gather all the Switch games from around the house, put them back in their cases, and make sure nothing's missing. My husband had shown me how to properly save and eject games. But this time, he was out of town and the kids were at school, so I decided to do the audit on my own. When I got to my son's console, he had Pokémon Scarlet in it. I went through the process of ejecting the game, and after I took it out, I suddenly realized I never saved. Ugh, I felt awful. My son had put in so much time, so much effort, and I just completely forgot. So, yeah, I took my son's Pokémon Scarlet game out without saving his progress. Update time. After reading all your comments, I realized I'm an idiot. Turns out the game auto-saves, so thankfully I didn't ruin hours of his work. Still, the fear of it, yeah, that's burned into my brain forever. When he got home, I told him what happened. At first, he was upset, but mostly at himself. Then he checked the game and it had saved right before where he stopped. So, crisis averted. Mom redemption unlocked. And honestly, it reminded me to always double-check saves from now on. We've also started keeping his playtime balanced, a few hours a week, plus sports and time with friends. So yeah, everything worked out in the end. He was kind, understanding, and that made me feel like the luckiest mom ever. I was on my way to class, headphones on, when this boy, maybe 15 years old, comes up to me asking for help. He had a Scottish accent, said he came from Glasgow, and that he got pickpocketed. Basically, robbed. Completely robbed. He told me he needed help, and that he'd transfer me money if I bought gift cards for what I thought were tickets to get back home. I felt so bad, so I said yes. He even showed me proof on his phone that he made the transfer. It said, because it was a lot of money, it would take some time. And of course, since he showed me that proof, I didn't question it. Which, yes, now I'm beating myself up over. Because the transfer was taking too long, I used my own money to buy the gift cards. Before I made the purchase, I had this massive pit in my stomach. I asked for his number, just as assurance, and he gave it. So I made the purchase. Now I'm back home and still no refund. I called him, he picked up. I said, "Hey, it's the girl that helped you out." And then he hung up and blocked me, just like that. I should have seen it coming. But honestly, I don't really have a social life or friends to help me read people. At least, I have his full name and his email, so maybe that helps. Serious advice is needed, and if there are any unethical private investigators who feel pity for broke students, please reach out. That was half a joke.
And that's it for today's stories. Two people, two completely different mistakes, but both somehow weirdly relatable. Honestly, it just shows that no matter how old you are, we all have those moments where we think, yeah, I really messed up this time. If you enjoyed these stories, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more chaotic life moments, and maybe share your own TFIU story down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and remember, everyone screws up sometimes. Just make sure yours are funny later. See you in the next one.